What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all good out there today. And me and Derek are here. Derek from Gematinator, you guys know him.
Yo,
Created the
yo.
calculator. And give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear us. I know we got 20 in there now, so we should have enough people. And yeah, make sure you guys hit those like buttons on your way in. That's always greatly appreciated. So let's see. We'll wait for Coffee Girl. She usually sees the first one in here with the thumbs up. Hello, Kathy, and good information in the chat. Also, no Juz. You're talking about the Saturn connection and the Muhammad Ali connection. That's something I'm going to touch on as well. Thank you, Coffee Girl, for the thumbs up, and thank you to my girlfriend who's also in the chat. Love you. All right. Well, we're going to let Derek. We're going to get kind of right into the information today, guys, because Derek's got a lot to share. I've got a good amount to share. And we're going to talk about this fight coming up between, it's today, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. And yeah, we're going to connect a lot of different things here. We're going to connect Pluto. We're going to connect Saturn, the moon. We're going to connect almost all of the space bodies are going to be connected to this decode. So
yes, it's an astrological masterpiece. And it seems to be like the dark planets, right? The moon, Saturn, Pluto, the underworld, Saturn, the black sun.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be what it goes around. And when they first scheduled this fight, for people who don't remember this, it was originally scheduled for July 20th. And that is, of course, a very special date in the history of astronomy, as July 20th was the date of the first Apollo 11 moon landing. Again, if you believe it. Now, this year is 55 years after the moon landing. And when you write out boxing match, you actually get double gematria of 55, whether it's Latin or reverse reduction. And this has always been a number for the moon landing. The phrase moon landing has matching 55 gematria with Apollo 11. 55 is also the atomic weight average of the element iron. And here we're dealing with a boxer nicknamed Iron Mike. So originally it was scheduled for the 55th anniversary. And we'll also see how this connects to Armstrong, the first man to reportedly set foot on the lunar surface. And in my original post, I pointed out the number 118 because the fight is being held in Dallas, Texas, which is 118 in ordinal, just like moon landing, just like Armstrong in reverse. Well, then a couple months later, we found out the fight was moved, and it was moved 118 days later. So this is perfect. And 118 is also the value of Cancer, which is the birth sign of Mike Tyson and was also the sign for the original moon landing. So this has always been about the moon. And when you look at Jake Paul, it goes from interesting to downright undeniable. The name Neil Armstrong equals 66 and 165. Tyson's opponent, Jake Paul, was born 66 years and 165 days after Neil Armstrong. And when Armstrong died, Jake Paul was exactly 5,700 days old. And of course, 57, the number I repeatedly say, is so darn significant to the moon. The name Jake Joseph Paul, I like this. It sums to 1710 in Latin, his full name. And this is essentially his birthday, right? The 17th of January. This 1710 is also the gematria of Neil Armstrong's full name, using the Sumerian method. And 171 is also NASA in reduction. Now, when we look at Jake Paul's birthday, January 17th of 1997. Well, this brings us to the planet Pluto, whereas the moon is the nearest celestial body that we can see. Pluto, the furthest celestial body in the solar system. And I guess there's other dwarf planets out there, but none of them used to be a planet like Pluto. Now, Pluto was discovered by an astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh. And that's important because Clyde Tombaugh died on the exact same day that Jake Paul was born, 1/17 of 97. Now, there's also another really interesting 1116 riddle that I think is probably the most important that stood out to me. And again, this just goes to show how numerology is just undeniable, right? So the name Neil Armstrong in reverse Sumerian gives us the 1116. And when Neil Armstrong first walked on the moon, it was 11 months and 16 days after his birthday. And on that date, Mike Tyson was 1116 days old for that moon landing. Well, if you measure from the birthday of Mike Tyson to Jake Paul, it's 11,160 days. Something else I pointed out is that Mike Tyson was born on June 30th. Back in 2021, Bill Cosby was released from prison on June 30th. And that was Tyson's 55th birthday, which is crazy because that's the number I was talking about up here that we kicked everything off with. Well, Bill Cosby was released from jail 1,116 days before the original date of this fight. Boxing match equals 116. Also, not to get too sidetracked with Bill Cosby because it's not really that important, but he had a son named Ennis Cosby. And Ennis died one day before Jake Paul was born.
Oh, that's
so
wild.
This all comes together way, way too well. And there's a lot more with the moon. I don't want to go through my entire posts because we can get a little sidetracked here. But one other thing I want to mention, Cody, is I don't know if you saw the weigh-in yesterday where Tyson gave Jake Paul a little slap on the chin there. Well, I thought it was funny that these two boxers weighed in at 227 pounds for Mike Tyson, and then 228 pounds was Jake Paul's weight. Well, 227 is a huge number for this fight, which falls 20,207 days after the moon landing. Furthermore, not only is Mike Tyson 227 days before his birthday, but he's also 722 lunar phases old. As far as the 228, which was Jake Paul's weight, I believe I had a section on this number as well. Yeah, because Jake Joseph Paul, his full name has double gematria of 228 with capital letters and in reverse. And if you include the end date, 20,208 days since the moon landing, United States of America 228. So, yeah, when I heard those weights yesterday, I was like, oh, it's perfect, right? 227, 228. That's what this fight is all about. It's all connected to the moon landing. So then yesterday, just to follow up on that, I made a video on the death of this South Korean actor named Song Jae Lim. And the reason I did this video is because we just got a new Department of Government Efficiency announced on November 12th, which is the same day that Song Jae Lim died. And when you look at the logo for DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, this is all dog symbolism. Well, when you think about the Pluto connection, Pluto is also a dog in the Disney franchise. And this all ties back to Koreans because, a lot of people make fun of Koreans for eating dogs. Now, that's typically not true. And actually, earlier this year in January, South Korea outlawed the consumption of dog meat. And I thought it was interesting that this Korean actor dies on the same day as this DOGE comes to light. And, another thing too, Cody, is that previously I had decoded another South Korean named Moonbin, and he died in 2023. And this death was completely synced to Moonbin. And of course it is, right? We know this is a moon landing ritual. So, there's a lot of connected numbers with Song Jai Lim, particularly the 218. And I guess I will go ahead before I pass the ball to you. The planet Pluto was discovered on February 18th of 1930. And 1930 is the same year that all three astronauts aboard Apollo 11 were born: Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. February 18th is also the birthday of Song Jai Rim. And he died 218 days after the total solar eclipse over the United States. The word moon, 218 Hebrew, death, 218 standard. And to top it off, he died 21 sidereal months after Moonbin and 8 sidereal months after the eclipse. So the 218 code was very significant. And in my video yesterday, I basically ran the numbers on this story and told everybody why I thought it might be pointing to a Mike Tyson win. And if you think about it, Mike Tyson was currently roughly a 2-1 underdog. And I was like, wow, here we are talking about a dog riddle. Could the underdog in the fight end up being the winner? And the reason I thought about it this way was because of what UMBC did in 2018. The ultimate college basketball upset. For the first time, a 16 seed beat a 1 seed, and they did it by 20 points. Well, that team was the Retrievers, right? The dog. They were the dog in the fight. So putting everything together, it kind of suggests to me that Mike might win. But again, I'm a little bit clouded and biased here because I really want to see Mike Tyson punch him out. And I think that's probably the feeling of most people. And it's my concern about wagering on this fight is that everyone's putting their money on Mike, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and really, this dog thing is really what's got, what I'm going to share is interesting, and I'm not sure I came to a complete conclusion yet either. I mean, I think you're right. Everyone wants to see Mike Tyson knock him out, but I like you said, I think somebody in the chat also said a lot of people are going to have money on Tyson. So I'm just wondering if that's how they're kind of going to get. Yeah. So I don't know. That's definitely I'm trying to understand it based off this golden age thing that I'm about ready to share, because I think it's a big part of the riddle. And actually it goes perfectly with that Elon Musk thing, because Elon Musk had just posted he had just posted a few days ago the Novo, what was it? I can't ever remember this word. Novo Ordo. What is that?
Seclorum?
Yeah. And then I'm going to show how that's connected to this, because he had just posted that after the election, and it ties in with this whole thing with Jake Paul. But another thing I wanted to mention for people with the Pluto connection is that don't forget, guys, on the 19th of November, Pluto will enter Aquarius for the next, how many years? I always forget how many years it is, but it's still like
21 or something.
It's like 2043, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, it's 248-year orbital, so you figure about 20 years in each sign.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a big part of this riddle and that Pluto thing. And did you catch the I don't know if you caught that, but this Korean guy, the song guy, his name equals 912. He died on the 912 month birthday of the Superior General of the Jesuits.
Yeah, that's been something you were following with me earlier, and it is pretty interesting that this guy dies as he turns 912 months old. There's certainly a connection.
Yeah, on his birthday, on the guy's birthday.
Right. So that
So
was Arturo Sosa, right?
yeah. And I showed people in my last video how Arturo equals Saturn. It's a super match with Saturn. I mean, absolute super match. And on top of that, if you go back to the gematria, that guy, I think a lot of people will find it interesting that the guy has a 3-cipher match to Donald Trump also.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, I
that's
guess sorry, one last thing I wanted to point out that I thought was really strong is that this dude is super synced with Pluto as well. And I guess I made 2 posts on this. But so he was born, like I pointed out, on the same date as Pluto's discovery. Well, he was born exactly 660 months after the discovery. And 660 is the gematria of Pluto.
uh-huh.
And then, he was 6 months, 6 days after his birthday when Pluto was demoted. He was 21 years old, matching Pluto. So, no question about it. And even Vivek Ramaswamy, when DOGE was announced on the same day, the digits in his age basically match the numerical designation of Pluto. And Department of Government Efficiency is 2024.
You know what's
And this
super
is
interesting about
20,204 days after the moon landing. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what's super interesting about that 134? Well, first of all, the Jesuits equals 134, but Make America Great Again 134, plutocracy 134. Of course, Trump connected to the Pluto plutocracy thing.
That's
Uh,
huge. I didn't know that.
um,
Oh, plutocracy. And look at this, North and South Korea, 917, just like plutocracy. Wow. And this was actually a number that I didn't even mention in my video, but he died, let's see, 917. Sorry, Cody. He died 9 months and 17 days after Moonbin's birthday. Okay, that was it. So
yeah, and that plutocracy has that 55 too.
Yeah, this is really good.
And if you type in Ripple XRP, because I'm going to talk about it in the same cipher, and actually it has that 2 134s. And what do you think's happening with Ripple right now? It's exploding, man. It's unstoppable right now.
Yep.
And Donald Trump Jake Paul is born on 134 date numerology. Just like Roman Reigns, also another big fighter in the business right now. And I think this is very connected to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes from earlier this year because Cody Rhodes has the same birthday as Mike Tyson. So that was my initial thought is Cody Rhodes has the same birthday as Mike Tyson. I wonder if that just means Tyson wins. That was kind of my first thought.
Not only do they have the same birthday, but they were born exactly one Metonic cycle apart.
Yeah.
And the Metonic cycle, of course, the big cycle of the moon, 19 years.
And they're both Cancer.
Yep.
And don't forget, Jake Paul's brother is in the WWE, Logan Paul. And also don't forget, Trump was on Logan Paul's podcast. So
yeah, and that was on the Pluto return date.
Exactly. Yep. Funny how it all comes back around.
Yeah, that was well, I can't remember if it was uploaded on the 13th or 14th, but either way.
It was pretty much right on that, yeah. How crazy. Oh, and yesterday, another thing with Ripple I'm going to talk about is yesterday was 248 days after Ripple's high price this year. It finally broke above that. So it was the 248 days between its high price to its next high price of the year. And it's all perfectly synced. It's so crazy with what's going on with the cryptos right now. Oh, and also yesterday was King Charles' birthday. He has the 134. King Charles III has the 134 also. So that's I'm also born on 134 date numerology. So I tend to notice that number a lot. But yeah, and I think there is a huge riddle going on right now with the king and his mother, to be honest. But yeah, that Make America Great Again. Yeah, 134 also.
So I'll let you get into your stuff, and then towards the end, I mean, maybe we can poke back at the hints I was talking about yesterday as to why I think, it seems to be coded for Mike, even though I'm not convinced. But
Uh-huh. All right. Well, yeah, I think we'll be able to, after I present my stuff, I think we'll be able to make some more connections here because there's still a lot I want to talk about, to be honest. I didn't even put all of it in my presentation because, to be honest, I was so overloaded this morning with stuff that I was almost so overloaded I got confused. Like there was so many different ways I was trying to look at this. It was
oh
like,
god, I've been there way too often.
yeah. And one of my big riddles that I actually just squashed the whole thing. I was originally going to do a whole riddle connected to Back to the Future, and that was my initial thing. And then this golden age thing came up, and I was like, okay, I'll just go down with this for now because this seems to be like the rooster thing is a dead giveaway. And yeah, so let's jump into this part. So as we mentioned, this fight is today, and it's Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. And the big thing I want to mention here about this is that earlier it was like a week or so ago after the election win, Elon Musk came out. Of course, yesterday he got selected, or was that yesterday he got selected?
November 12th was the announcement for Doge.
Okay, November 12th. That's perfect because that's the birthday of the Arturo Sosa. So, but yeah, so Elon Musk had posted this on his Twitter. He showed a picture with Donald Trump, Novus Ordo Seclorum. And I thought it was interesting because this 249 number is coming up now because we're also in the 249th year of the United States now because we've completed 248 and now we're working on our 249. And notice that he posted that and now that equals 249, like the title that they give on Wikipedia, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. And so that's what got me onto this golden age riddle because this phrase actually ties you perfectly into the golden age because if you go to the Wikipedia page of this saying, it'll lead you to this poem by Virgil, and it's basically, I guess I'll read it. Now has come the last of the Cumean age or Cumean prophecy. The great cycle of ages is born anew. So we have this Pluto stuff, born anew, rebirth, death, rebirth, the phoenix, Jesus, all these symbolisms that go with that. Now returns the maid, which is interesting. The maid returns the reign of Saturn. Okay, so today Saturn goes direct. The day of this fight, Saturn stops its retrograde motion and goes direct. And Saturn, this poem leads us to Saturn, and it's saying, now from the high heaven a new generation comes down. I'm thinking this is cryptocurrency because Elon Musk is intimately connected to cryptocurrency as well. Yet do thou at the boy's birth, in whom the iron age shall begin to cease, and the golden to arise over the world. Holy Lucina, be gracious, now thine own Apollo reigns. So when I read this, and I added this in one of my other decodes a while back that you guys absolutely blew up, the one with Elon Musk on it. But I didn't realize this was going to tie in with, the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson thing, but it does perfectly because notice that talks about Saturn. It talks about the golden age. It talks about the iron age is coming to an end. And Trump, after he had won, he was specifically talking about a golden age. This was one of his main things in his speech after the election. He said, right here, it says, Trump says golden age of America, is coming. Trump vows to bring in the golden age. And I don't know if you guys saw his video about what he's going to do when he comes into office. I mean, it was like a it was real forward. He's saying he's going to pretty much fire everyone. He's going to take everyone out that did wrong. Like it was pretty fiery. Did you see that, Derek?
Sorry, Cody, I was dealing with noise issues over here, so I missed that.
Oh, okay.
I had a little feedback on my mic, but I think it's
There
gone.
was a bit of a hum I was hearing. Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, it seems to be gone now. So, but anyways, the golden age. Trump was talking about it. This poem, this Novus Ordo Seclorum, leads us back to the poem about a golden age and the death or the end of the Iron Age. Well, if you look into the ages, which is what I believe this is really a big riddle for. Because again, Trump was talking about the golden age. The golden age is the only age that falls under the rule of Chronos. Of course, Chronos is Saturn. All the other ages of the 5 ages fall under the reign of Zeus, Jupiter, the son of Saturn. So you have this clear riddle with the old and the young, the father, the son. Of course, Sean over at Widow's Son has been talking a lot about this, and but the golden age again is the ruled by Saturn or Chronos, and the other ages. And if you guys read here, the spirits live on as guardians, the golden race of men who came first. He clarifies that Hesiod did not mean that men were literally made of gold, but were good and noble. He describes these men as daemons upon the earth, since the daemons is derived from the meaning knowing or wisdom. So these people were basically living by the golden rule. That's what I get from this. The golden rule: treat others as you would want to be treated. That's basically what I get from this. Everyone was living in peace and harmony and prevailed during this age. Food was in abundance, and they lived to an old age. Now, that's the exact opposite of what you think about when you're thinking about a boxing match. You're thinking about clashing, fighting, not peace and harmony, but a fight. And that is a representative of the Iron Age.
One more thought, too, is that Golden Gloves, that's an award awarded to boxers.
Right, yeah. That's a good point. There's also more Saturn stuff. This whole thing is Saturn because they fight in a ring like Saturn. And there's actually there's something in boxing. I don't know a whole lot about boxing, to be honest, but there's something called the ring. And it's, that's a clear reference to Saturn as well, just the whole ring thing. But yeah, I mean, so the Golden Age is represented by Saturn. Mike Tyson is known as Iron Mike, as you mentioned, Derek. And the exact opposite of the Golden Age is essentially the Iron Age. This is basically the de-evolution of humankind. It starts with the Golden Age and it devolves into basically animals. And that's what the Iron Age represents. Now, if you think about Mike Tyson, you would think he's kind of animalistic. He's known for biting off someone's ear. So he has this animalistic, nature to him, this dog kind of thing, like what you were saying. During this age, might makes right. So like the mighty are the ones who rule, I guess. And bad men use lies to be thought good. At the height of this age, humans no longer feel shame or indignation at wrongdoing. Babies will be born with gray hair, and the gods will be completely forsaken humanity. There will be no help against evil. So again, you have this huge connection. You got Iron Mike, and it blew my mind when I found this because it brought it all together, because I knew that Jake Paul was wearing a rooster hat, but I had no idea that they're calling him, his new nickname is not only the Rooster, it's the Golden Rooster. And so you have the Golden Rooster versus the Iron Mike. And so you have the clear symbolism of the Golden Age versus the Iron Age. And these ages are, again, it talks about this in that poem I just told you about. It says, again, keep in mind, Elon Musk just posted this phrase from where this poem derives from. And it talks about the end of an Iron Age and the golden age arising over the world. Notice that it also mentions Apollo, which perfectly ties back to the Apollo moon landings. Of course, Trump is Apollo. I have a whole video I'm working on with Trump being connected to Apollo. He has freaking Apollo in his suite, in his tower. He's got Apollo all over his suite. So and of course Apollo is the sun, and that connects with the golden well as well, because the sun is known as the gold. So again, anyways, the Iron Age, and you have Jake Paul literally calling himself the Golden Rooster. Now notice that his original nickname was the Problem Child. So this kind of makes me think of the child of Saturn, as in Jupiter. Of course, Pluto is also the child of Saturn in the mythology. And if you want to call Zeus as well, it's Zeus or Jupiter, whatever you want to say. But Zeus, or Jupiter, he is the ruler of all the ages except for his father's age, the Golden Age. Okay, so again, Jake Paul used to be known as the Problem Child, but now he's known as El. Don't forget the word El is also connected to Saturn, and El means God. But it's saying El Gallo de Dorado, which again means the Golden Rooster. Now, notice that Jake Paul is 27 years old. And in Gematria, in Chaldean, which this cipher seems to shine in this decode, Catholic equals 27. And Jake Paul equals 27 in the same cipher. Also the word golden and the word Chronos. So here we go back to the Chronos being the leader of the Golden Age, Jake Paul being the Golden Rooster. And he's 27 years old, which is the gematria of his name. And the reason I have this picture here of this Golden Rooster on top of this cross is because I had seen this at the end of last year and never got a chance to do a decode on it. And then when I saw this Golden Rooster thing come up again today, it just blew my mind, because I meant to even do a video on this, but never got one out about it, because I had seen that Notre Dame had raised a golden rooster on top of the Notre Dame Cathedral after the fire that happened in 2019. And that was put up last year on December 16th as the new golden rooster. And I'll read this real quick. The new golden rooster is seen atop the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris for the first time since the devastating April 2019 fire. The spire of the Notre Dame is now visible after some scaffolding was removed during the renovation process. Adorned with the new golden rooster, reimagined as a phoenix with flamed feathers, the iconic cathedral is a French landmark and is the most famous Gothic cathedral of the Middle Ages. The rooster is a French emblem of vigilance and Christ's resurrection. So, in the Bible, it talks about Christ ruling over a golden age of 100 years. And so you have all this stuff going back. The phoenix is about death and rebirth. Of course, this fits perfectly with this cathedral fire, because the cathedral went down in flames, and then they resurrected it with a golden phoenix rooster on top. And again, this ties perfectly to why Jake Paul is now calling himself the Golden Rooster. Now, it's even more crazy when you look at the stadium they're fighting and look at the freaking nickname of this stadium, the Cowboys Cathedral. So there you go. I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up. You got Jake Paul wearing the Golden Rooster, and now there's a Golden Rooster on the Notre Dame Cathedral, and now the stadium he's fighting in is the Cowboys Cathedral. It's also known as the Death Star and the Palace. So there's other things you could probably throw in there. But yeah, I thought that was a perfect piece to put all that together. I had no idea this place was called the Cathedral before I was already making connections to this cathedral before I even knew that. And so this is where I kind of bring it all together, is this number that seems to be big today, which I've talked about this year before with the 70 stuff. And the Vatican equals 70, right? So obviously that connects to the cathedral. And the rooster, or sorry, the fire at Notre Dame was on April 15th, 2019. So this fight is exactly 7 months after the anniversary of the cathedral fire. And of course, Vatican equals 70. Gold, this is a huge number with gold. Gold equals 70, and golden age equals 70. And this cathedral was taken down by a fire, which fire and gold have multiple cipher match, but fire also has the 70. And if you write Chronos with a K, it also has the 70. Now, golden age having the 70 is perfect because the date of course, the date numerology of this fight happens to be 70. And they're fighting at AT&T Stadium, which equals 70. And again, that's the name, the Cowboys Cathedral. And we just had that guy that you just brought up, the Korean guy. He just committed suicide, which equals 70. In fact, suicide is a perfect match to Francis and Vatican. He died on the Jesuit leader's birthday as well. So, yeah. And so I just wanted to bring up another thing here. Why did the Pope order the Catholics to put a rooster on top of the churches? The rooster has been a Christian symbol since God used it to show the weakness of man with Peter, the first Pope, and the triumph of Christ in the resurrection. So it's clearly a symbol of the resurrection, like a phoenix, like Christ. And of course, you can really think of the symbol of the rooster as the dawn. The rooster is crowing as the sun comes up. So again, the resurrection of the sun. So that could also point to Saturnalia time and Christmas time. But so now I just wanted to show you guys how perfectly this is all synced with the crypto stuff going on right now, because we had Dogecoin making headlines with the dog, and now we have XRP, which is the Chiro, the XP. I've did some connections on this, but the X is also a lot of connection to Christ. But anyways, XRP's all-time high price. I know there's a lot of people that want me to talk about this too, so hopefully you guys are listening. The XRP price hit its all-time high in the year of the rooster. And it has not hit an all-time price since then. And now, on the day of the rooster fighting, the golden rooster, XRP's price is finally making its way back up towards this price of its all-time high. And rooster equals 43. Now, when XRP hit its all-time high in the year of the rooster, it was 43 days before the end of the year of the rooster. And the date numerology that it hit the all-time high was 43.
43, the 14th prime, it's 1-4.
And XRP equals 1-4 in that same cipher as rooster equals 43. So it was perfect.
Nice.
And this is going to connect perfectly with the Jesus thing, because I'm gonna get out of here in a minute and show you more connections with Jesus, because I know you know this, Derek, but Jesus Christ equals 151, the 43rd prime. And
that's the 36th prime, but it's 43 in reduction, yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, 43, and that's what I was thinking. 43 in reduction, and also golden age equals 43. That's what I was really thinking. Jesus Christ equals 151, the 36th prime, which is connected to what I'm also going to show with the 36. But anyways, the 43, the rooster, is hugely connected to XRP.
The crucifixion is thought to be on April 3rd or 4-3 as well.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, please hit those like buttons if you're in the chat. Really appreciate that. We got 59 likes now, and hopefully we can get to 100. But anyways, back to this. So now, as Jake Paul the Rooster is fighting, XRP is now climbing again. And so connecting back to the Jupiter-Saturn riddle, with Saturn being the ruler of the golden age and Jupiter being the sun, which he rules the iron age and all the other ages. When Donald Trump was leaving office, one of his heads of the SEC sued Ripple, who creates the currency XRP, and he did it on the exact day of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction. And this is important because now we have this Saturn thing going on today, and Donald Trump, of course, was yelling, "Fight, fight, fight," and now we're having this fight. And when XRP waited, so the lawsuit happened on the Saturn Jupiter conjunction in 2020, right before Trump left office. And it took until July 13th, 2023 for the judge to make a victory ruling for XRP, declaring that it was not a security. And that just happened to be exactly 1 year before Trump got his wound. So this July 13th day has and again, if you guys watched my prior videos on XRP, the whole case was going parallel with Donald Trump's cases. And then exactly a year after XRP gets declared not a security, Trump gets his wound. And notice that the CTO of Ripple, David Joel Katz Swartz, he posted, I hereby declare July 13th Victory Day. So we're talking about fights, victory. Trump said fight, fight, fight. And he ended up winning the election. So like victory. And so basically what I'm saying is that this is super connected with everything going on. And look at how many days, moon phases it is, from the victory day of XRP to this fight. It's 16 lunar phases in 18 days, 1618. And this cryptocurrency, their logo, the Ripple logo, has been clearly shown on their website at one point to be modeled after the golden ratio. And of course, we're talking about golden ages. So that's crazy, the 1618 in between. But not only that, I was just telling you guys how important the 70 is to all this. And what do you know? It's 70 weeks from XRP's victory day. And look at what XRP victory day equals, 70. And 70 weeks later, the fight of the golden rooster. And remember, XRP hit its all-time high in the golden rooster, or in the rooster year. And golden age equals 70. And the XRP ledger is known as the XRPL, which equals golden age in the same cipher. And don't forget the word gold has that 70. So how perfect it is. And what's happening to XRP exactly 70 weeks later? Well, this is. I mean, if you guys know anything about charts, this is ridiculous. I rarely see a coin this overbought on the RSI. Do you see this thing right here? This means this thing has been completely overbought. So it's probably going to have a correction soon, but the reality is this thing has been just nothing but up. Notice that it was at 88 when I took this screenshot like Trump. And Bitcoin was at 88 a lot today too as well. But yeah, so a perfect 70 weeks. And don't forget in the Bible, there's the prophecy of 70 weeks, which is in Daniel. And so I didn't really get a chance to dive into that, but I know there's a connection to that as well. And then you can see that last slide here was actually where I started doing a Back to the Future decode, but I didn't even end up working on. But so anyways, just want to go back over here. Notice that let's go to this cipher, the Chaldean cipher, because it seemed to be a clear winner today in my decoding. So I told you guys that this whole thing with the golden age and this rooster, which is the rooster they put on top of the cathedral, they called it a phoenix. And of course, Jesus Christ is essentially a phoenix. He resurrected. And look at the gematria of Jesus Christ, Phoenix, Golden Age, and Ripple Labs, all in the same cipher. And of course, in the base cipher of ordinal, it's Jesus Christ also equals 151, which is again the 36th, as Derek said, the 36th prime. So this Chaldean cipher, again, proving to be, I don't use it enough anymore, but it's proving to be very. And oh, that's interesting. Look at that. 151 is the 196th composite number. That's the weight of the element gold on the periodic table, 196. And to go with the 43s with the rooster, so the rooster was put up on the 16th last year, right? It was put up one day before the Pope's birthday, the new golden rooster. And it was on the 16th. And notice that if you go from today's fight to the 1 year anniversary of that rooster being put up, it's 4 weeks and 3 days. Like Rooster equals 43 and Jesus Christ equals 43. So Rooster has the 43. Jesus Christ has the 43. Golden Age has the 43. And I told you Ripple Labs creates XRP, and XRP equals 14, and 14 is the 43 is the 14th 14th prime. So, and funny, another thing that happened today with XRP, it hit 91 cents as its high, which is Phoenix. And let's not forget the old Phoenix magazine from The Economist back in 1988. Let's see, Economist. Let's see. I can't remember what the name of it was called. But yeah, there was a magazine. Whoops. My computer is not. Yeah, here it is. So this Phoenix magazine, it said, get ready for a world currency. And believe it or not, today is 304 days after Jake Paul's birthday, and the phrase "get ready for a world currency" equals 304. And notice the money burning and the phoenix coming up, and just you can see the Catholic symbolism right on top of this. I believe a lot of this leads to the Super Bowl this year also, because the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. So I think a lot of stuff going on right now is kind of leading up to the Super Bowl. But yeah, Derek, do you have anything to add right now?
Not really. I guess I did have a little bit as far as the rooster riddle, because we were connecting this to wrestling, and there used to be a wrestler in the WWE named the Red Rooster. That was a guy named Terry Taylor.
Huh.
And the name Terry Taylor equals 66 and 60, and he will be 69 years and 96 days old. And his full name has matching gematria with the number 666. They both sum to 2038 Latin, which is a big moon number. So, I mean, and he was born in 55, and his birthday is 5 months and 5 days before Jake Paul's. So he has numerical connections. I don't know what the hell it means, but it's wild. Like the 666 code is stamped into this guy for this date. So you have Jake Paul wearing this rooster hat. That's the first thing I thought of, and it just popped out to me.
Yeah. I didn't even know about that wrestler, honestly. So
yeah, I have him up on my screen.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh, before I go there, I'll just show this real fast. So somebody mentioned in the comments before the stream about the song Rooster by Alice in Chains.
Sure.
Of course, this is perfect because this is all about cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency is the blockchain. And that's Saturn, the block and the chain. But anyways, Alice in Chains' song "The Rooster," it just happened to come out 11,589 days before today, and I made all these connections to XRP, and XRP is all connected to this number 589.
Yeah,
and of course Donald Trump equals 589, and also another thing I wanted to mention real quick too is that from the beginning of this, it's not actually the beginning of this millennia, but if you say it's the beginning of the 2000s, so the first day of the 2000s, today just happens to be 90,085 days or 9,085 days into the 2000s, which I found interesting because
it is
in Jewish gematria, Jesus Christ has that, or just it's just Jesus. Sorry, Jesus Christ has that 985. So, and another thing while I'm at it, connecting Ripple to this Jesus riddle, Jesus equals 74. Well, Ripple's getting ready to release a new digital dollar, RLUSD. And that is what's probably going to send it off into even higher price. RLUSD equals Jesus. So And that stands for Ripple US dollar, I think, or just Ripple USD. I think there's a connection with that too. Yeah. Ripple USD equals Donald Trump. But yeah, there's a lot of connections there. But we'll let Derek show what he has on this other rooster guy.
Yeah, so this was a character I remember from like my early childhood, and I just thought it was the most ridiculous gimmick. And I think a lot of fans will tell you the same thing. But this dude came to the ring dressed up with like a little rooster hairdo. He wore red. I don't know if they dropped feathers from the ceiling when he came out. I mean, this is so stupid. but yeah, this is what wrestling was back in the day, right? Well, anyway,
Yeah.
this is the guy, Terry Taylor. And Terry Taylor gives you the 60 and 66 and
Oh man, he has the
13,
13,
16.
16. Wow.
That's wild.
Wow.
Well, before we get back to the 1316, though, his full name is 2038, which is also 666 is 2038. And then you run the guy's age and hits all sixes and nines.
Wow.
So,
yeah, you know,
again,
it's got to be.
I don't know exactly what it means, but he was born in 55 to go with the whole moon landing riddle from earlier as well.
Well, I'm sure if we followed the riddle through, we'd probably make connections all the way back through Logan Paul, from WWE Logan Paul, and then, you know, Trump. The WWE is always so intimately connected with all this because, I mean, even Trump is in the WWE Hall of Fame, so it makes sense that there's lots of, and this whole thing with Kamala too. You know, the wrestler Kamala, that was obvious.
Oh yeah.
So these WWE riddles are always crazy. The Red Rooster, is that what he was called? The Red Rooster?
Yeah, the Red Rooster or Red Rooster, I guess. I don't know. I'm just typing stuff out. And then you get the 1973. All right. One of these numbers I've been talking about a lot lately too.
I noticed that there was a 275 that had come up earlier, but you know, today is 275 days after, or it's 6 years, 275 days after the last rooster year ended. And in gematria, if you type in Logan Paul's Spanish nickname, it equals 275. Golden Rooster in Spanish equals 275.
Oh, all right. That was, what was it? El Gallo de Dorado or something?
Oh, yeah. Good memory. Yeah. See the 275 there. So his name equals 275, and he's fighting 275 days after the anniversary of the end of the last rooster year. So.
Well, maybe that's it, man. Maybe that's, yeah, it seems like they've connected it because I can't think of a good reason to have a wrestler named the Red Rooster.
Yeah. Oh, and also it's perfectly tied. I forgot to even mention that. I think the next rooster year is like, I can't remember the
2030
exact measurement. It's in 2029, but it's like there's a 491 there's a huge 491 connection going on with it, which is the 94th prime. But yeah, if you go to the start of from today to the start of the next, 4 years, 91 days. And that's the 94th prime. But what's even crazier is I just connected XRP to that. And if you go from the lawsuit July 13th, 2023 to today, you go backwards to July 13th, 2023. It's 491 days.
Huh.
And again, isn't that crazy? It's 1618 in the moon, man. Like I thought that was crazy.
It is. Yeah, we also get the 118, the big moon landing number, 118 days after the moon landing anniversary.
And you know why that's even more of a bigger joke too? Is if you take away the day too, it's 125 days after Trump was shot, or 1 year, 125 days after XRP Victory Day. And in Fibonacci, XRP equals 125. They got fined 125 million. And now, this number is huge with XRP. Like, this is a number they keep putting out there for it. And if you type in Christ in that same cipher, it's got the 125. So just another 125 thing. And of course, again, today is 125 days after Trump was shot. And time traveler equals 125. And that was where my whole Back to the Future thing was going to go, is if you type in the Wikipedia title of the fight, it equals Back to the Future Part 2. And not only does it equal Back to the Future Part, it equals 249 in that same cipher as Back to the Future Part 2. And of course, I started the decode out with that number as well with the Elon Musk tweet. But what's crazy is that whole second movie was a lot about the sports almanac, the Gray Sports Almanac. And if you type in Gray Sports Almanac and then in the full title of the fight, it's like a 3 cipher match. So I thought that was where I was going to start, but that's all the farther I got. It's
I don't know about that almanac, but
it's Grays with an S.
Like this?
Yeah.
Ah.
So if you notice, it has I think it's a 3 out of 4 cipher match with the title of the fight, Logan Paul or Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And yeah, so there's still a riddle going on with Back to the Future. I just didn't get a chance to look more into it. Because think about it, so today is Saturn coming back to its, basically coming back from retrograde. So it's coming back just like Mike Tyson is coming back and he's into the future. So all this, just like Make America Great Again, that essentially means the same thing, Make America Great Again. So going back to the future. So this riddle Back to the Future is just like constantly being pushed right now. So
sure. So I don't know if you want to take a step back and kind of look at more of the numbers. I know a lot of people in the chat have been talking about who's going to win the fight.
mm-hmm.
I'm not here to exactly force anyone to put money down on a bad bet, but I do want to kind of touch on some interesting things.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure. So a lot of this I shared at the end of my last video. But we got Mike Tyson looking for his 51st win in his 57th fight. And the word moon is both 51 and 57. Also, another 51, his opponent, Jake Joseph Paul, looking for his 51st win against this guy. And it's Michael Tyson. And Michael equals 51. And on top of that, he'll be 138 days after his birthday. Or he is, I guess, since the fight is today. But the method I've been using for my personal sports betting, again, I have my own methodology, but it's been successful in F1 anyway. But what I typically do is I look for a news story that has clear synchronicity to the event and then try and draw the connections between those characters in the news story and the characters in the event. And it's been mind-blowingly good so far. But again, I've never bet on a boxing match before, so take this with your own caution here. But this guy, Song J Lim, I want you to look at this because this blew my mind, right? When you write out his name as it's spelled on CNN here, it's 105. And this guy was born in 1985. There's another 985 for you, Cody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I think that year's so important. Like
it's definitely important. I mean, I was born then, so
yeah.
But this guy also has 105 birth numerology, and this is a number connected to Neil Alden Armstrong, whose name equals 105. Well, when Neil Armstrong died, look how old this Korean guy was. 10,050 days.
Huh.
And I'm like, well, that's too much already for me to say this is just a coincidence, right? And then there's more. If you look from the birthday of Armstrong to the birthday of this actor, the actor was born 197 days after Neil Armstrong's birthday. And if I can quick find this, when Neil Armstrong died, he was exactly 1,097 lunar orbits old. And the word moon equals 197. And Michael Gerard Tyson has the 197.
Didn't you say it was you that told me he's 197 days before his second Saturn return?
Yeah, that's right. So from today, so if you punch in Mike Tyson's birthday and you go ahead, we're looking for 2 Saturnian years, which is May 29th. So Mike Tyson's second Saturn return is on May 29th of next year. And if you measure from that date, well, with these Saturn long counts, they're pretty close, right? I mean,
yeah, it's close. Pretty. I mean, might as well be.
The thing when I program this calculator is that you're talking about fractions of days.
But that 196 is important. Again, that's 14 squared. So we're getting back to the 14s again with the 43s. But the 196 is also the atomic number of gold, 196. And I've always said that's why the San Francisco 49ers have the SF as their initials, because that's the numbers or the letters, 16, 16 or 196. But
Yeah, and the reason I had this off by a day before is because this is one Saturn year, right? 10759.
mm-hmm.
Well, 2 of those you get to, was it? No, it's May 29th again. Well,
it's still showing
so
that
it might be significant. Who knows?
I mean, I think it is, because there's a lot of 197s that, like you just showed anyway. So,
well, let me show you one more that does definitely connect. If you measure from Jake Paul to the Korean actor, you also get exactly 143 months. And Jake Paul was born 10,043 days before the moon landing, or after it. And then you type out Michael Gerard Tyson, and you get the 143. But ultimately, I showed earlier with the big Jake Paul and Neil Armstrong connection, 66 and 165, along with the 57. So these 2 guys are super synced. Well, this fight is 102 days after Neil Armstrong's birthday. And if Jake Paul loses, he falls to 10 and 2. So it's like the numbers are all there for Mike to win. Again, my concern would be, are the bookies going to step in and say, hey, wait a minute, there's a lot more money on Tyson? But I'm not even sure about that theory either, because I'm looking at the bets right now, and I'm showing that Mike Tyson is plus 225, whereas just last night he was plus 170, which means that more money is actually going on Jake Paul recently, which is kind of surprising. So the odds for Tyson are actually getting better and better. So I guess it's for everyone to decide on their own.
Well, here's my theory off the whole age thing, because I know they're clearly doing something with this golden age. That's why Trump's coming out and saying golden age, and this whole crypto thing is basically what this is really pointing to right now. And the way I kind of see it is, Jake Paul is the golden rooster, but at the same time, I'm thinking that with Saturn being the ruler of the rooster, or the ruler of the golden age in the mythology, he's the ruler of the golden age. And in my, I don't know if you saw this little girl was asking Mike Tyson about what his legacy would be, and the answer he gave was just like super crazy. He's like, "Oh, my legacy doesn't matter. We're all gonna die anyway. We're all dust." It just made me think of Saturn. That's a Saturn mentality. That's like, Grim Reaper, death, and with him also being, as you just showed, if you type in Saturn and Tyson, they also have a clear match. Or just each one separately. Yeah. Tyson has that 93. Notice he has the 21 too. And this is a number I wanted to touch on real fast, because notice that Moon, Pluto, Saturn, Tyson all have the 21, and all these different things are involved. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I mean, that 21 is just big, I think. I think it's not a coincidence that all those things equal 21. You got all three of those planetary bodies have that 21 in that cipher. So
One other thing someone pointed out to me is that 197 is the 45th prime number, and if Tyson's able to knock him out, he gets his 45th KO as well.
yeah, and that would connect with Trump perfectly too, as he was the 45th. And I haven't even talked about the ear thing, but I made a video back in the summer about how Trump's ear thing was connected to the golden ratio and secrets, because this all kind of connects to that too. But with Mike Tyson having been known for biting off somebody's ear, it just seems, yeah, I don't know. I didn't even look at that. I didn't have time to look at that. But was that in 1997? That was the year Jake Paul was born.
Yep, 163 days later, or Make America Great Again.
Interesting.
So it's been 10,002 days since that fight. So there's another 102 for Jake Paul.
Wow. So just 2 days ago, it was the 10,000 day anniversary. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to look in that, but that's a good connection, because so that goes with that 102 you were saying. Wait, who can get the 102 again?
Jake Paul, if he loses, he falls to 10-2.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yep.
So a win would make him 11-1, and I mean there hasn't been a whole lot of 111 we've discussed.
Yeah, I mean, Slick. I mean, I think that all the basic decoding gematria numbers that you use when you're decoding sports are really pointing to a Tyson win. And me initially, when I saw it, I just thought Tyson too, because of the Cody Rhodes thing. That was like actually the first thing I thought was Cody Rhodes and him share a birthday. Cody Rhodes already had his big win earlier this year. How many days is it after the Cody Rhodes win? I forgot.
Well, that was the eclipse, so it's going to be basically on the same count, 222, 223. If you measure to the eclipse, you get pi numbers. Also 77, like Jake Paul.
Yeah,
but it's interesting, right? If it really is the golden age, well, maybe they will give the fans what they want to see. Maybe Tyson does punch Paul out, right? It's the golden age. It's the age of enrichment, The way I look at society as a whole, I feel like pro wrestling teaches you something about how they manage people's emotions over long terms, right? And it's like when they give you scripted sports events, they don't always give the upset where the bettors all lose. Sometimes the bettors make out really damn well. I like to think about Super Bowl, was it 42, where the Giants beat the Patriots? The Patriots were 14-point favorites. All the money went in on New York. New York still won the Super Bowl, right? So it's not like it's always screwing the people. So I don't know. I mean, I did put a small bet on Mike just for fun. Again, I've never bet on boxing before, but kind of want to see him get hit. So
yeah, and yeah, I'm really I was always leaning towards Mike too. The Golden Rooster thing, with Logan Paul was interesting, or not. I keep saying Logan Paul, but it just seems interesting. But again, I think that the black, the Saturn thing that I'm seeing with Mike Tyson, and if we are going into the golden age, you want the guy to be the Saturn thing to be going down. So I don't know. It certainly feels like we're going into a bit of a golden age for me today. I'm making more money in my portfolio than I've made in the last year and a half. So it feels a bit like a golden age, but I think this thing's just getting started, to be honest. And yeah, we'll see. But the bull run hasn't even really started, and Bitcoin is just leading the way right now. Just wait till the rest of the crypto market starts booming. You'll be having everyone and their grandma asking how they get into crypto. I remember that last cycle when that was happening. But another thing I see in the chat is that Tyson can become if Tyson were to lose, he could become 50-7, which is kind of like that 57, which is the gematria of moon and golden equals 57.
Golden
So
ratio also.
that's the one thing I do see for that, but I don't know if that's enough for me to like. Oh yeah, golden ratio also has that 57.
Oh, and golden ratio is the same as Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster. 177, 120.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of, again, guys, we're not saying go bet on what we said here, but because neither of us ever neither of us ever really bet on boxing. I never bet on boxing ever. So, but I mean, based off what the numbers are showing, Tyson does look like to me the bit of the favorite. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to say too, but I can't remember now. Oh, I did find it interesting too with the Back to the Future thing. In the sports almanac, they do mention boxing as one of the sports. If you like read it, they mention boxing is on there. So I wish I would have gotten more time to look into that Back to the Future riddle, but again, I had so many different things going on, I couldn't. And boxing, even the word box makes me think of Saturn in a box, in a cube, you know?
Yeah. I'm just thinking, I forgot to mention, I talked about all these 11/16s earlier, which even connect to Bill Cosby. Well, the fight ends, and then the calendar turns to 11/16.
Right.
Forgot to mention that. So it's really wild what they're doing, setting this fight up. And it'll be interesting to see how well it sells. I mean, this has got to do better than like Logan Paul and KSI or some other internet beef, right? Like this is way bigger. It feels like it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I like I said, I mean, I wish I would have looked into this fight earlier, like before, but I just didn't ever do it. But I think
I've
there
been
was
thinking about it for 6 months. Look at
that. Yeah. Because when I originally saw it, I just got distracted with other decodes and stuff. But I think that it will be interesting because if Tyson does win, it would also connect. Wasn't he connected with a tiger too? Didn't he have a tiger in one of those movies?
Yeah, The Hangover you're thinking of.
Right. And that would connect to Jupiter. So, yeah, and then I don't know if Casey is in or Bobby or Casey is in the chat anymore. I saw him in there. I don't know if he wants to jump on, but he had some good finds with, he sent me last night in the Discord with this fight. He'd made some, let me see if I can pull one up here. Oh, we forgot to talk about the fact that RFK Jr. just got the nod yesterday, and he has the same birthday as Jake Paul, and they're born 43 years apart. Huh? There's that 43 again. So yeah, he just got the nod to be the health director or whatever it's called, and he does share a birthday with Jake Paul, 43 years apart, which is 516 months, which is Mercury. And Casey did mention in the chat that Mercury is also connected to the rooster.
Wait, 516?
516 months between Paul and JFK or RFK Jr.
Well, if Tyson wins, he goes 51-6.
Yep. Interesting. Yeah, and then of course Muhammad Ali is also born on that day. And another guy to mention there is Jim Carrey. There's a bunch of birthdays on January 17th.
Yeah, it's also the anniversary of the Gematrinator calculator.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Indeed.
Interesting.
2017.
1/17/17, huh?
Yeah. Now, who would you rather have as director of health? A chunky trans woman or this guy who's like I was laughing at the videos they put out of RFK Jr., where he's like doing these pull-ups and hanging upside down, and there's this other random muscle dude like doing a handstand right above him. He's staring at his butt. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But it's impressive that he's able to do that at his age, especially with all the apparent vaccine damage he has or whatever.
All right.
I keep saying if this guy's voice sounded good, he would be one of the best politicians out there.
Yeah, I know. The voice thing kind of does just like take away the aura, you know?
A little bit. But when you're Kennedy, you have some pull.
I guess you get a bit of aura back from just being that, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you forever survived the assassination of 2 of your family members. So it's just funny, you know, a few years ago, they were all over this guy singing his praise for the type of stuff he was doing. But now that he's on the other side, all of a sudden he's like the biggest criminal, according to the media.
Yeah.
It's been fun. It's been fun to watch. I mean, I always say, regardless of what you think of the truth about politics and how much is controlled and what's organic, this is a wild time, man. Like, I always make jokes because they always say this election is the most important election of all time. But with what Trump has been saying after he won, it's like, wow, they might have been right this time. Like, this is a complete change of course, or at least that's how it's being marketed. We'll see what really pans out.
Yeah, if you watch that video of him laying down his plans, man, it was like a go-getter. It reminds me of a rooster, a cock, you know, like go-getter, you know, get it done kind of attitude, and like he's gonna take out everyone that ran it that possibly that's corrupt or ran or went against him, or like, I mean, some of it sounds pretty good.
A lot of it sounds great. I mean, like I said, we'll see what happens. I'm skeptical about how much the government could even do if it wanted to do well in 4 years.
Yeah.
Because you have such a giant health, drug, food industry that is built around making Americans sick. It's going to take a lot more than 4 years to change that. So hopefully this is the start of something bigger. I mean, just to watch these left-wing news organizations cry and complain about RFK as if there's nothing wrong with our health. That's been the most frustrating thing, is they keep bashing this guy for his stance on vaccine, but like, look around you. I mean, 3/4 of adults are overweight now.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, you go back 30 years and it was like, I don't know, 10, 20%. So yeah, something obviously needs to change.
I mean, it's. I guess I'm a bit lucky because I can eat like a horse and not gain any weight. My girlfriend always makes or picks at me for that, but
I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I just have a metabolism, I guess, and I don't really. I just drink water. I don't really even drink anything else. So I've always been able to stay pretty. Even when I was staying in Turkey and just eating like nothing but these big buffets, I didn't even gain that much weight. I was eating like 3 buffets a day and I didn't gain much weight. I still pretty thin.
You know what I realized too is that if you're someone who drinks soda on a regular basis, even if it's just like 1 can a day, if you cut that soda out and replace it with water, that's just about as good as fixing what you eat. It really is, because when you start taking in all that sugar, especially in a fast dose, it completely messes up your metabolism, your ability to digest. And through my experience anyway, I can be pretty sedentary and not gain weight as long as I'm just drinking water. But as soon as I start drinking soda, there's almost nothing I can do to avoid gaining weight. So,
yeah, that's what I tell everyone. I've told people that for a long time because I've always been somebody that I'm just weird. I don't like to drink anything but water my whole life, really. I mean, I love milk too, to be honest, but I don't drink
coffee.
a lot. Yeah, I don't even drink coffee. I hate coffee actually. So like,
well, I don't know if we can be friends anymore, Cody.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, that's why me and my girlfriend are so close. I think. Well, it's not the reason, but it's one of the reasons, because it's the only other person I've ever met that doesn't like coffee. Actually, my dad doesn't like coffee. I don't like coffee, and my girlfriend. But everyone else, There's not many people that don't like coffee. So yeah, I've never liked it, and I've just always liked. Actually, all day I sip on lemon water. That's what I drink all day is lemon water. So if you really want to lose weight, start your day with some lemon water and just sip on lemon water all day. Don't add the sugar in it, but maybe you could add a bit of a sweetener if you want just to be a bit sweet. But lemon water is good just on its own. It's refreshing. So that's what I tend to go for. That's what I'm drinking right now. Actually, is just lemon water. And it's good for the liver. So
yeah, I think just fixing what you drink is such a huge part of it. And for me, I'm a big believer in low calories. I don't exactly count calories, but man, I want to say it was like the late 2000s or around 2010. I saw a picture of a long-term study they did with monkeys. And they showed a picture of a monkey who ate 1,600 calories every day for his whole life. And then a monkey the same exact age who only ate 800 calories per day. And the monkey that ate 1,600 calories was like, it looked twice the damn age. That really blew me away. So, of course, that'll vary based on exercise. But as someone who's probably in their most sedentary stage of their life right now, like I am, I just eat like a chipmunk, eat healthy, a lot of water, and I don't gain weight anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's really the key. I'm also not as active as I used to be, especially right now. Man, I got to tell you, the weather here is absolutely horrible. You know how long I got here on the 31st, and I have not seen 5 minutes of sun since I've been here. I lie to you not. And when I say not even 5 minutes of sun, I don't even mean like a little bit of peeking through the clouds sun. I mean, since I've been here, it's nothing but a wall of clouds over the sky. Like it's craziness.
Welcome to Germany.
Oops.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. We got the Enzifern. We got Enzifern in here, and he's from Germany, so he knows.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I live in Lisbon now.
What's that?
Yeah, Lisbon, Portugal.
Well, okay. Do you get a bit more sun than us? I hope. I hope.
Right now yeah, it's definitely a lot more than in Germany, especially in my hometown. Yeah, like you said, you don't see the sun for half of a year. You don't see sunlight, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You said it's been a wall of clouds in Germany. I just did a video about the new border czar and how he's synced up to the Berlin Wall. And it was just like hours after the election in the United States that the German government collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is all synced up to the Berlin Wall and the fall of that. And now we get the German government collapsing within hours of Trump getting reelected. What's that all about? So,
yeah. And did you know the president of Germany is Olaf Scholz? He's born on Trump's birthday.
I've never seen that.
But they are all a joke.
Yeah, he has the same birthday as Trump.
Also, the gematria is pretty interesting. I did also a decode about this. He met with Biden on the when was it again? I think it was the 7th of February, something like this. It's the 38th day of the year. If you type in just Scholz, you have 83 gematria, like Germany. And also, like in German, if you type in certain stuff like the German word for Pope and so on, if I may type it here in the chat, perhaps there's a lot more like what was it again? I don't remember all of that, but all the types for like Pope and so on, the German words, have a gematria of 27 and so on, 72. And on the 7th they met, the 38th day of the year. That's also why I thought that Biden is maybe going to die on the day. It's like a king assassination or something like that. But no, it was just like he met with Scholz, the German chancellor.
Yeah,
that's kind of funny.
Yeah, Biden's too happy to die now.
Yeah,
I still think there's
a
Biden riddle going on right now for sure that I really haven't looked at. But I mean, Pluto is basically entering Aquarius one day before his birthday, and of course Pluto's weapon is the Bident.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that I might need to look more into. But
I was just going to share quick this alignment for Pearl Harbor Day coming up. I was pretty surprised at this coming up for December 7th. There's like a quadruple 666 riddle coming up, and it kind of blew my mind. So on December 7th of 2024, Pearl Harbor Day, it's exactly 996 months after Pearl Harbor attack.
83 years.
83 years, like Germany. If you look at Donald Trump's age, he's got the 666. If you look at Kamala's age, she's got a 666. And then if you look at Joe Biden's age, he's got a 9969. And December 7th is also 2,666 days after the first great American eclipse. So this is a quintuple 666 alignment, essentially, for this coming December 7th. And the reason I started looking at this is because someone mentioned on the news that Biden was talking about the potential of stepping down, which would make Kamala the 47th president and then Trump the 48th, which would throw a wrench in a lot of the numerology. But I don't personally think that's going to happen. But if there's a date that it does, I think it'll be connected to this December 7th.
Yeah, I was looking. Of course, I did a whole video on that actually, but the thing I was looking in was I don't know. Maybe it's just a riddle for what already happened. But if they do it, it will certainly throw a wrench into things. If they want to cause some more chaos, I guess that's probably what they'll do. But,
sure, and I mean Donald Trump could be number 48, right? Like that would make sense too, I guess. Yeah,
and Donald Trump has that 48 in reduction and Chaldean, so I've always thought that he has that double 48 in both those ciphers, and if it would make sense, And that's funny. That's the kind of the reason that it's kind of the reason that guy said that is because he thought it would kind of mess up Trump's apparel, and so no longer he would no longer be able to wear the hat he has. So
that is funny,
and it is crazy that the guy's birthday was the day that Biden did step down originally. The guy that said that. So, and then what I thought might be the best time for it to happen would be 152 days after that, after his birthday, July 21st, because that's the 20th of December, and that's also exactly 47 months after inauguration. And it's the 47th triangular number after her presidential power on November 19th, 2021. So 2 47s with her lining up with that day. If you add the day, it's the 47th triangular.
This is that new order for the ages gematria, right?
Yeah, that's that huge number I did with my decode before. So that's what something also could go down on that day, 11/28 this year.
There are so many dates. Also, you decoded this already. Like Pluto moves into Aquarius now on the 19th. It's just 4 days from now on.
Yeah.
We discussed this one day after Biden has his birthday. And anyway, I don't use that much gematria for this, just like logical thinking, what moves can they make and so on. And for me, just for example, it's all bullshit what they're doing, like always. It's just a big joke. Just for example, because it seems like all the people forgot about this. What did Trump do back in 2020? I think it started then. It was Operation Warp Speed. Basically, Trump started all this, and now he has this Kennedy guy who's anti. You know what I mean? I don't want to use too many words.
Right.
And it doesn't make any sense. Nothing what they are doing makes sense. And anyway, if you remember also, for example, Trump, when he was elected back then, or selected, if you like, he was also like, how is she called again? Hillary. I put Hillary into jail. What happened? Nothing.
Yeah.
Everything what he's saying right now, and what I also find pretty interesting was this statement from Kamala after she lost the election. She was pretty calm, and she was like, don't worry, everything is gonna be fine. And now Trump is doing all the moves like, I do the LG whatever stuff back, I do this back. What he wants to do is basically he wants to destroy the whole left.
Yeah.
And
Essentially,
for
yeah.
me, it's all a setup for, you also discuss this, Biden is going to step down or whatever is going to happen soon. And then she becomes president. And then she's going to be like, nah, what he's going to do, he's undemocratic, he destroys democracy, this and that and whatever. No, I have to protect it. I cannot give him the presidency. I think that's going to be the move, because if Trump is really going to be the next president, and I don't know if they do it like the same, he said all the stuff he's going to do, and he does basically nothing.
Yeah. That's a politician for you.
Yeah, of course. But now we are in such times. It's how do we say? It's too much going on. The people want answers, and
Right.
if they don't deliver now, they are losing control. And it's all about control. And for me, the setup is pretty clear. But we're gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yeah. It certainly will be interesting how they play it out, because I just feel like the election went by with so much ease. I just feel like there's got to be a wrench at some point in the.
Yeah.
I think so, but I also don't think so, because of what happened in 2020, where so many people, such a large percentage of the public, started to distrust elections and the whole process. But then we needed this election to bring that back down to earth.
Mhm.
We needed a much more calm one that was called that night. And now everything's back to normal, so to speak, and people will go into the next election and vote, just assuming everything's fine. So I don't see any massive drama before Trump gets into office, but there's definitely going to be a lot of wrangling.
Well, you know what tells me that? The one thing that tells me there might not be anything personally is the way that the markets are, because if you can know when the charts are doing, you can tell when the next big event's going to happen. And I can tell you for a fact that I don't think, if you're really looking at the charts, and especially the crypto charts and the way things are going now, I don't think we have really any huge things happening to like that really big things, I guess, until possibly March, when that lunar eclipse comes through, because that lunar eclipse again signals something for the markets that would be not so good. So we'll see. But I think that March 14th lunar eclipse, and then also there's also another eclipse later that month in March. That's really what I'm looking for, the next thing that's whatever they're planning. Of course, March was the same month that it happened before in 2020, so it wouldn't surprise me another March. But Casey, are you in here? Casey? Let me see if I can get Casey on. He's been sitting there. I don't know if he's just. All right, you can go ahead and talk in Cifrin while he's Casey. If you're there, you can jump on whenever you're ready.
Yeah, just want to say I don't need gematria for this one also, because we know how they operate. They like how it's called in English, like reaction solution, the three steps, like they need a crisis. And we also know they have like CBDC and everything. They have the digital dollar, digital euro. They have it ready, and also the OPEC states, they're already implementing this new stuff, but it won't happen like this in the West, For that, they need the crisis. They need everything basically to collapse. So we can be sure that it's going to be happen soon, because they have it ready. They just wait for the moment.
Well, there is this thing they call ICE 9, where eventually they're going to do some sort of attack on the banking system, and then they're going to have to reset the banks. I don't know. I don't know how that plays out, but yeah, it's going to be interesting how that ends up playing out, or even how long into the future that takes till that actually happens. But they told you in 1988, get ready for a world currency, and
And 88 was also a year of the dragon. We are right now in the year of the dragon.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, and like I said, this whole thing is synced up with this whole fight today. Like I showed, is synced up with the golden age and the money and the cryptos moving accordingly. So that's why I'm thinking, well, I mean, either Trump is gonna do what he's saying and everyone's gonna love him for it. And I mean, I would love him if he took away taxes. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't love him, but I would never say no to that. Let's put it that way. I don't know anyone that would say no to that, but yeah, it would be nice to not have to pay, or at least knock the taxes down a bit. I mean, maybe pay a bit, but if he's saying he's going to take away taxes, and he even said that on crypto, if the crypto company is in the United States, people should not have to pay taxes. If the company that created the crypto is U.S. based, then you'll have to pay any taxes. So I don't know, but Casey's on there somewhere. I don't know if he can hear us, but
yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. So what's up, man? You have anything specific? I know you have some good stuff that you can share because you shared a lot of good stuff last night.
Yeah, I think it's funny is Tyson Meats, the largest producer of chicken in the U.S.
Oh yeah,
And
that's a good one. That's a good one. Tyson Meat. Is it Tyson Meats? Yeah, Tyson Meat. How interesting. You got the chicken rooster guy going against Tyson. Huh. Didn't even
think he's going to get cooked.
Look at the stock price right now. It's 60.14, like Trump's birthday. Look at the CEO, Donnie D. King.
What?
Donnie D. King?
No way.
Donnie? Oh man. This stuff is funny, man. Donnie D. King. And I just told you guys that the stock right now is listed as Trump's birthday, and then the CEO's name is Donnie D. King. Let's see what that equals.
Oh.
Well, it's got the 218 there.
191.
43rd prime, yeah.
And it's also the Jupiter moving into Aquarius.
Yeah. Yep. Actually, yeah, Pluto in Aquarius.
Pluto moving into Aquarius.
Yeah, equals 191, yeah. Well, there's that 57 Donnie King, so I don't know. I wonder what his real name. I don't know if that's his. I probably should try to find his Wikipedia. Maybe he doesn't have one. What's Tyson Foods equal? Oh, 152. That number again, huh?
And a 118.
And a 118. I mean, that 152 just... Also, Tyson Foods equals Saturn Direct. And that's what got me thinking too. Like, wow, Saturn Direct has that 152, like, female president, like Kamala Devi Harris, like.
Hey, Cody, you see the 712? Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy were born exactly 712 weeks apart.
712. Isn't that, well, that's one day before that shooting too. There was something else I thought I saw earlier that was a 712. Maybe that wasn't on the stream. Maybe that was something I was looking at earlier. Huh. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting with the Saturn Direct equaling, and of course that happens today. But that's a good one, Casey, with Tyson Foods. They're founded in 1935. John W. Tyson. So the two people that have, but he's from Missouri. He's born January 15th, so not too far off from Jake Paul's birthday. 163. John W. Tyson. Yeah, that might be something to look into, but yeah. Donald J. Tyson. What the hell? His son's name is Donald J. Tyson. So not only is the CEO of the company Donnie King, now the guy who owns the company is Donald J.
And it's Donald John too.
Ugh. This Donald J stuff, man. Always seeing it. Kamala's dad. Donald John Tyson, 64.
This Tyson guy was born 193 days before Clyde Tombaugh, who discovered Pluto in 1930.
Huh. How many days again?
193, syncing up with the year 1930, which is when Neil Armstrong was born, Pluto was discovered, etc.
Donald J. Tyson equals 1399 to 222 prime. Trump's had a huge connection with 222.
Also, he's been telling us that 13,099 murderers have crossed the border.
Really?
And if you type out murder, it's 399 in that same cipher.
Oh, really? Yeah. Huh. I mean, it's just like, oh, come on now.
They all speak in code.
Donald J. Tyson. Donald J. Tyson. Wow. I mean, I wish I would have thought of this before I put the decode together. It's always so much more. Look at this. 1985, he founded another foundation. He died on January 6th, the day of the insurrection.
10 years exactly.
Wait, also in Back to the Future, Biff called Marty always like it was like chicken or something, or?
Yeah, that's right.
Could this mean something? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely because I was already onto a riddle with Back to the Future, but I just didn't get a chance to look more into it. But yeah, that's right because Biff is always saying chicken, right? And I mean, I wonder what the word chicken just equals because I mean we're talking about a 53. I don't know.
What about ultra processed, nasty, disgusting chicken?
Yeah, exactly. That Tyson stuff, I never used to eat that, man.
No, I buy farm raised chicken. I'll pay the extra $1. Thank you.
Yeah. Tyson chicken equals Trump's birthday. Huh? Oh, equals 138 like Donald Trump if you go to the bacon cipher.
Do you remember last year's WrestleMania after Cody Rhodes lost to Roman Reigns? Someone threw a rubber chicken in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Wow, yeah. And Tyson has the same birthday.
Yeah, that's funny. Just thought of that.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. I remember seeing that, but it didn't click but in this guy, there's a 1985 in this again, of course. Tyson was one of the world's 1,000 richest people with net worth of over $1 billion in 2007. Yeah, I might have to look more into this guy. If depending on the outcome of the fight, we'll see how the riddle plays out, but maybe there'll be something more with Donald Trump.
And this guy was born in 1930, just to go along with the 193 I was saying.
Yeah, April 23rd, 1930, in Kansas. Got the Kansas City Chiefs going on right now.
And he was born 106 days before Neil Armstrong, and then he dies on January 6th.
Wow. 423. Isn't that whose birthday is that? John Cena's birthday. There's a John again. Wait, what's the 1930? What was his birthday again? What was it?
421 or 423?
Oh, 423.
Oh, well, then I had his date wrong.
Let's see. Let's see to the fight today. Let's see. Well, there.
Sorry, I said 106 days before Neil Armstrong earlier. It's 105, which is the number I talked about associated to Neil earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get the 12 prime?
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that, but I literally forgot what I made that measurement for now. There was a measurement with this amount of days in between that was
Okay.
this.
I might have to scope that out.
Yeah, because that's what I was going to bring that up to you because, oh man, I wish I remember what that was now. But this measurement from this guy's birth to today, nothing that I see. I mean, it's got like kind of a 134 here, but not really. 94 years, like plutonium is the 94th element. What was his shoot? I keep bouncing around here. His death is January 6, 2011. Yeah, and this is exactly 10 years before. Oh, look at that. Some pi. 13 years, 3 and 14 days since his death to today.
45 weeks after his birthday with the end date. Number that syncs up with Mike and his name, 197, looking for his 45th knockout.
Mm-hmm. Well,
could be a nothing burger, though, there.
And the pie thing is interesting. What, Casey? You there?
Hey, Mike Tyson. I think I told you, both of you guys, last night that he was born on the day of the last Uranus-Pluto conjunction.
Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted you
to mention that.
Yeah, Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike Tyson was born was June 30th, 1966, the day of the last Pluto-Uranus conjunction. And those planets are associated with Pluto's revolution and Uranus's abrupt change or cataclysm. So, and then you think about Pope Francis. When he became Pope, it was the anniversary of the discovery of Uranus, March 13th. March 13th, 1781. It was discovered by William Herschel, and today just so happens to be his birthday. And I think another reason that the Pope ties into Uranus so much is, well, with the 84s, he's born in 84 date numerology. Uranus is 84, or has an 84-year orbital period. And I always like to talk about the Nashville bombing. It happened on the day that he turned 1 Uranian year old. And of course, Nashville is home to the Titans. Uranus, I believe, he was a Titan, or he was a father of the Titans.
Yeah. Yeah. Uranus was the father of Kronos, and then Kronos was the father of Jupiter, and then so that's interesting. And yeah, that's crazy that this guy's born on that his birthday is today. Got all the discovered Uranus, Titania. And oh man, there was something else I was going to ask you too, Casey, about the about something. It just slipped my mind.
Well, hey guys, I gotta quickly drop off here. So thanks again for having me, Cody. It's always a blast.
Yeah, man. And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I just I'll have to send you some coffee or something one of these days so that we can get you on the right track.
Yeah, some coffee. Yeah, buy me a coffee, right?
get you caffeinated. We'll turn your 20-slide presentations into 60-slide presentations, just like that. You won't even know what happened.
Yeah, maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need some caffeine, spice me up a bit.
Nah, you're good, man.
Anyway, thanks, man. I always appreciate it. And guys, make sure you go check out his channel and his decodes. And once again, thanks for doing all you do, man. Appreciate you.
You bet. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.
See ya.
Ciao, Derek. Yeah, I'm gonna drop too, but I wanted to mention one thing quick, what I checked. The last time when Pluto went into Aquarius, do you know what happened then?
No, what happened?
We had the French Revolution.
That's right.
Funny.
Huh. Yeah. And now we have Trump saying he's going to essentially create a revolution. So maybe that's what we're building up for here.
Yep.
And it would make sense, I guess. That whole picture with Trump, rising up with the blood on his ear and the flag behind him and saying fight, fight, fight. Seems like a revolution to me.
Yep.
And
Also,
don't forget one more thing with that revolution. There was a show called Revolution, and that show was about a blackout that takes down the power grid. So Revolution 151 again, like Jesus Christ. So I'll have to look more into that Revolution show again, see if there's any ties to it. But I remember I covered that a lot back when I was doing my blackout decodes.
and also one last thing for me, the biggest indicator that they planned for the U.S. Civil War, basically, like the two states again. It's also iPad Gold 2. Because right in the beginning, you see the American flag split in two.
And then you see the apple split in two.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and someone brought something up to me about that. If Kamala Harris does become president again, or before Trump, the apple, it rolls into Obama's boot and it splits.
It's actually Trump's boot. This is Trump.
Trump, huh?
Yeah. I remember. Let me think. Because there's a woman, not like God, but a woman. How it's called against, like a half god. The god of coins and so on, and he's also depicted in like Trump there, with a coin under his foot. It's
see.
actually a Roman god.
I see, yeah.
And also Trump, the Roman god also stands for copper and so on. The Trump Tower, you have this kind of brownish, this is copper color everywhere.
Right. That's a good point, yeah.
It's
but
definitely Trump.
But if that's the case, then I guess it makes a lot of sense, because if the apple splits, right? So think about it. The apple splits and a lotus comes out, and the lotus is obviously Kamala. And so that's what her name means. So that you would think that would represent her. So
yes,
you'd have that split happening. So is it saying that Kamala is going to occupy the space between the, Biden and Trump getting in? That's kind of, someone mentioned that to me, and I was thinking about that. I never got a chance to look more into it, but it kind of seems interesting. So, and we got Rebecca on here. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
Pretty good. Nice to have you on again.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, no problem. And I know you probably have some good stuff to share. So, and Ziffren, is there anything? Were you going to get off here? You have anything else to share before we?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Thank you that I could be here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming.
And thanks for your work.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
See
I
ya.
guess see you later. I guess it's Rebecca's turn. So go ahead and hit us with what you got, I guess. Can you hear me? I think she might have dropped out. If you're still there, you're not coming. Can anyone else? I can't hear you, so I guess something's going on. Huh.
Well, howdy there, partner.
Well, Casey, I can hear you, but you can't hear Rebecca either, right?
No.
Okay.
Hey, I thought I'd throw out there that the rooster is a symbol of Mercury.
Right. I saw you post that in the chat on a glance. I saw you post that in the chat, but
Yeah,
that's interesting too. I need to look more into that also.
yeah. Yep.
And let's see, what else today? I guess we'll wait a little bit for her to join back up, and then we'll call it a day after she gets on. But I don't know if she's going to try to come back on or not. Oh yeah, and Ziffern says Trump represents Janus, the two-faced god. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yep. And thank you guys in the chat for staying with us and listening. Appreciate that. Where do you subscribe to the German caller? I think his channel name is the same name he has here. So go ahead, Rebecca. If hopefully you're coming through now. Oh, interesting. I don't know what's going on with that. Seems like you're there, but
Yeah. You hear me?
oh, I hear you now. I hear you now. I heard you for one split second, and then I think you dropped out again. Well, I don't know what's going on. That's weird. That's super weird. Everything seems to be working. Yeah, I'm getting ready to, after Rebecca shares her stuff, I'm going to jump off, guys, but I'm hoping she gets a chance. She always has some great stuff to share, so hopefully she
Hello?
can. I can hear you
Hello?
now. Hopefully I can hear you now.
Okay, there's a bad delay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. I
Um,
think it's just cutting out a lot, so it does that sometimes with certain people, so I don't know what's up with it.
yeah, this is really weird.
I'm not sure what. Huh.
Anyway, if this comes through, I would.
Yeah, man. Ah, man. I can hear you a bit, but it's breaking up.
Shit. Well, anyway,
Crazy. I don't know what's going on, guys. Sorry. It has something to do with the. Well, Rebecca, we'll go ahead and if you want, you can write me a comment of it, whatever you have to share, because I'm just gonna go ahead and get off. But I know you have something good to share. I just I don't think it's gonna. Some reason it's not working. Yeah, that's a good point, guys, about Apollo Creed. Apollo, yeah. That's a good point, guys. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, guys. Well, since Rebecca is not coming through, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. But thank you to all the people who came on. Thank you to Derek. Thank you to Casey Jones. Also, thanks to Enziffern. Appreciate you. And again, thanks to Rebecca. If you want to write out a comment and let me know, that would be great.
oh my
And much
God,
love.
why?
I can hear you now for like 1 second, and then it goes away. All right, guys. Well, take care out there. Much love. Please pray for Joseph and his family. I know they they had a loss in the family. So please pray for him. And have a great day out there, guys. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.